Hello there, my fellow theme park designers. GoodTimesWithScar here, and welcome back to Sci-Fi versus the Wild West. And it is a bright, sunny, relaxing day here in the park, and we're outside Buzzsaw Falls, which now has a bathroom. That's right, this is a super busy area of the park, and the people in this area were needing a bathroom, and I provided it. So let's get started with today. I'm very excited to get going because I made a ton of changes while we've been away, and I think you guys are gonna absolutely love them. So let's head over to our brand new attraction as the car heads into the station there. This is our roller coaster. In our last episode, we built up and terraformed this entire area into something very beautiful and mine-like. So let's kind of dive into this. So where we left off, we had these piles, right? And I wasn't satisfied with them. So as you can see, I've got all sorts of different rocks and details installed there. I think that looks really, really nice. So these little mine cars are dumping it off right there. So I think that really helps play the theme out. And one of you guys had mentioned in the comments is, why don't you get some mine cars that have tipped off the track? So I got one right there, which I love. Thank you for the idea. Very much appreciated. So I think that looks really nice. And then let's just sneak into the interior. Just some little details here and there. Just got some crates and some shovels and some pickaxes and things along those lines. And I think that really helps kind of make this area nice. A little boiler to help power, of course, the steam things. So we got a little steam coming out of here, or, you know, all these little gadgets and gizmos turning about. So I'm very, very pleased with that. Now, pulling back a little bit, let's head to the entrance of the attraction. And as you can see, we now have a priority queue. And look at this. Look at this. This is great. Look at it. It kind of goes through this cave. This reminds me of Cars Land for sure. This looks really cool. So this kind of files its way all the way up to here, right at the top. Now let's take a look at the statistics for this attraction. We are really moving it closer to that 1500 goal. And apparently it's not coming up here. Excuse me. Hello. Oh, there we go. There we go. Sorry about that. There it is. 1300. Look at that. It's amazing. So we are getting super close. And all of this is contributed to that result. And get this, we haven't done anything down in the lower area. So of course, this is the main attraction down here where it cascades down the hill and swoops through the canyons. So I think that looks really cool. And then coming on this side over here, look at our trestle bridge we built in the last episode. Tell me that's not amazing, right? And then of course, all the drops. So I've been working really hard on really smoothing out the terrain and adding all sorts of little details, and I think it really shows down in this area. All the places that I can really cover up supports and things along those lines is something that I've been working hard on doing. So as you can see, look at how it kind of goes through all the little canyons and things. Tell me this is not like the best roller coaster ever. Now, this is like my second roller coaster I've ever made. The other one was back in season 1 of this, back in alpha or beta, and I think this looks really, really cool. Yes, like, learning from making this, I've got tons of ideas how to do it better, but I think this is a really good start. So where we need to start is maybe come up with some ideas for our entrance. The entrance is right here, and I was kind of playing with some of these carts and trying to think if maybe they might look good next to, you know, the entrance in some way or another. So that's something we're going to work on. We're going to be adding so much detail to this area. It's going to take a while, but we're committed here to make this awesome. So we're going to add lots of little mine-related details similar to what we've done, of course, for our log ride and our train ride over here. So I think that'll look really, really cool. And so I'm trying to think about what I want to do in terms of structures for the area. Things that look like, oh, look, there goes the car. Oh, so cool. So things that look like mine structures, you know, mine shaft buildings and things along those lines. Maybe some explosions. Oh, so cool. Wait for it to come down this thing. It's going to be really cool. It should go up. Yeah, there it is. Haha, look at it go. Oh, that is so very, very awesome. Anyway, like I said, get some mineshaft buildings, things along those lines. Maybe some TNT detonating, I think would be really sweet. So let me get some supplies together, do a little brainstorming. So what I first want to start doing is just getting a little more detail built into the cliff. So very subtly, I want to start adding just a little bit of more stone, a little bit more rock, taking out this kind of sandy material, kind of making that look like slides. See how we kind of bring that into the corners, and I think that looks really nice. So perfect areas for that would be like in these little corners and crevices, similar to this, and then take out a little bit of stone and run that across the edges like so. Very, very beautiful. And we can just do that all along here. And then what we can do down in this area is just kind of smooth it out a little bit, smooth out the transitions. So I think that looks nice, and then give it one pop of a highlight. Can I get a pop? Give me a pop. There we go. We got ourselves a little pop of color, a little pop of highlight there, looking very beautiful. And then you know you can even bring in just a little bit of smoothing. There we go, looking cool. So this particular paint tool is kind of weird. It's kind of that smooth one. It's useful. It's just a little bit odd, but we could usually make it kind of work in the ways that we need it to. But yeah, I think it's important to kind of make sure these cliffs are all very beautifully painted and just add all those extra layers of detail. I think that'll really enhance the different little caves and the tunnels and all of those things. Welcome back, and as you can see, look at the beautiful cliffs all smoothed off and jagged around the edges. So we have kind of the erosion areas where it's like a little bit smoother, and then of course the cliffs jagged. And I think that's looking really nice. So that's just the start, right? This is just the start of it. So next thing we're gonna do is something you guys had requested, was to do a river along here. Now it's a little bit difficult because most of this is a sloped edge going down and a sloped edge going upwards. So we're gonna have to figure out how to do this in the right way. Now I'm considering two things here. So actually I'm gonna do a channel. Ooh, I've never done a channel before. Let's try the channel. Okay, well, I thought that would have been more excited. I was pretty excited about the channel. Oh, there goes the channel. Channel's getting all excited over here, apparently. Whoa, there goes our entire hillside. Okay, so it is powerful. I underestimated it by quite a bit. So let's push this back ever so slightly. Like I was saying, I'm trying to decide how much landscaping goes into this area. Clearly there won't be trees in kind of the basin of the canyon. If I can not make you guys dizzy, there we go. So there wouldn't be trees down here, right? But what I'm considering is putting more trees on the edges and around there. But what kind of landscaping is down here? Do we do just our standard plants and rocks and things along those lines? Because I think that's really our only option. Now what I'm doing is, what I like to do with this, actually, let's bring this back out one more time, is to kind of really cut out like a nice little trail going along here. I think I'm gonna kind of slope it down just ever so slightly right about here, and then just kind of trail the river off a little bit. So yeah, it's not the most accurate river ever created, but you know, I think it'll serve its purpose and definitely give out the details. So I was looking at the Grand Canyon, and so there's the Grand Canyon, and then within the Grand Canyon there's a slight little miniature canyon that runs along the edges of the river. So that's kind of what I'm doing right here. So just getting that little bit of extra detail built around here. Man, I want to go to the Grand Canyon. I have a Grand Canyon on Instagram. I'm following that particular channel. It's amazing. It's a really good Instagram account. Whoever their photographer is, top notch. Top notch. They're my favorite national park Twitter. All right, so, and that takes a lot, you know. I'm a pretty partial to Yosemite and Yellowstone, and they took the cake there. All right, so I think this looks really good. Why don't we just throw in a little water and see where it takes us? I think what I'm gonna do is do a bit of a rough water, you know, maybe get a little rapid action in there. Ooh. Haha, I like that. So let me smooth this out. I want to make this a little bit more like the snake river, kind of slithering about, and maybe make it go a little bit longer down that way. Question is, guys, is the rough water, I was hoping for kind of rapid stuff, but what do you think? In the comments, calm water, rough water, standing water, or dirty water? I don't want to do dirty water, but we'll find one that will work. Look at that incredible impact that river has created within our canyon landscape. Thank you so much for that suggestion. I don't know why, but I just never would have thought of the river. So that's what I love, you guys, leaving me those suggestions, helping us improve our park. So I think that's looking absolutely wonderful. Now, jump into our terrain tool. We're going to take a look at our colors. So of course we still have some options. Now that's the rough water, but almost gives off an impression of oceans, and we're not really in an ocean. So we have calm water, we have rough water, standing water, and dirty water. So let me know in the comments, hashtag dirty, clean, whatever, and yeah, we'll pick one of those out of there. But for now I'm gonna kind of leave it how it is because I absolutely love it. It's such an impact. Oh man, I'm so glad we did that. Okay, let's move on now. So we got our cliffs all painted up, looking very beautiful. Let's jump into our scenery. Let's click this, click our nature, and hit our desert. There we go. So the question, like we've talked about, is how much detail do we go into? I think for the cliff face, as we're looking here, we're not going to get crazy with trees, but maybe down in the lower area, maybe we could do a couple scraggly trees, maybe a cactus, things along those lines. So I think it'd be cool. Like, wow. The scale of these mountains and rocks, like look at it, look at that. Oh, it's amazing. But the problem is this is the largest rock and it barely looks like anything. It's barely anything. It's just like a little pebble. So maybe we're not going to do a lot of this, but we can create kind of a cool little rock formations and things along those lines. And we can continue to do those as we kind of build up the park. So we won't get too crazy with these details today. We'll just kind of start getting like a palette, right? Does that make sense? Start getting a little bit of a palette going, and then we could use that throughout the area, because like I said, this will take a long time. So then maybe stick a little tree in there, and I think that already looks like super sweet. And then maybe just, that looks a little odd. That looks a little odd. But like I said, you can just kind of take these bushes here and kind of fit them around here. So I think these near the water's edge, that looks kind of cool. I think that'll be really nice. So just stick a couple of these guys around, and then maybe some rocks along the edges. Now, I really wish there was some bigger rocks, because like I said, this is our biggest option in rock-wise. There must be a track under that piece, because it's not letting me bring it in there. But we can find little spots to kind of stick it in there and try to make it look unique. So we can take a couple different rocks and kind of add a little to it. So we're trying to get our rating up, and I've been thinking about different areas where we can maybe have explosions in tunnels and things along those lines, which I think could be really, really cool. So maybe take these and we can kind of face them outwards like so, and maybe just bring in just a little bit more life to it. Let's take a little bit of the green also from our paint tool, and we can spray that along the edges a little bit too. But yeah, just little subtle things like that. Like, that looks super beautiful, super natural. We have our tree up here. I might make a couple alterations to the tree, just ever so slight. Maybe oh yeah, that looks so much nicer. Bring that out there. Let the roots really look like they're kind of sticking out of the rock. Have it go over the edge. Perfect. There we go. So that looks good. Now, like I said, the question is, where do we take the trees? So no trees in this zone right here, but if we zoom all the way up here, if we can, the trees on this level I think will look really, really cool. So, let's zoom back down. Now, I did try to add the riverboat. And well, unfortunately there's no room for it. So no riverboat, which makes me kind of sad, but maybe there'll be another area where we can still fit the riverboat into. So yeah, I think we're gonna take this kind of palette and kind of bring it all around the different riverbanks and see where it kind of takes us. That is a cool looking landscape. We have our trestle bridge way up in the air. We have our rocks, plants, and our dead trees down here at the water level. So let's zoom in and take a look at the details. So just add in some little plants and rocks and a little spillover into the water. So I think that looks really nice. Now it gets super shady down at the end there, so I haven't got as much detail there, but look at all the little trees dotted about. Now here's the problem. Let's zoom up a little bit, and everything becomes just a pebble down below. But I think that's going to be okay after a lot of determination with the render distances and things along those lines. I think it's going to be okay, because I'm only trying to place objects that the viewer inside of a ride vehicle would see. Does that make sense? So looking from here, the viewer can only see what's in front of them, what's up on the hills. Oh my gosh, we're gonna get hit! Oh my gosh, that was kind of scary. So I wasn't expecting that. Actually, I thought the vehicles went down this way. So I was saying, like, people can see this way. So it turns out they can see it this way, which is, oh, that's way better. Oh my gosh, that's such a better view. So we got the dead trees and the plants and things like that. So when you're thinking about it, like, go in that term, like, think about where the viewer in the actual, seat is going to look around and see from their perspective. So, and then the other areas you can't really see from the vehicle, well, then you don't have to work as hard in that area. So really focus your efforts on this. So I spent about 2 hours, got this area looking pretty good. Now, when it comes to these sections over here, I'm just being really subtle to start with, not getting too crazy, because I don't want to throw off the perspective by adding, giant trees all the way down. That will throw off the perspective of the mountain. And of course, this little section over here, I think looks really nice. And then zooming in over here, it's really difficult because just like one little plant looks like nothing. So that's a bit of a problem, but let's zoom up here a little bit and kind of get busy. I flattened out a zone right in this spot, right? Oh, geez. The camera is crazy today. I don't understand what's going on with it. So right here, let's think about this. What I want to do is I want to grab out the building tool, and I just want to make a couple little Mineshaft style buildings that look like something that's kind of crumbling away on the side of a mountain. And I think ever so slightly we can start adding more and more detail to this build, because it may be a little bit more than we anticipated for sure. When I look at this, I'm like, what have I done? But I do think if we stick it out, we can definitely get something really amazing. So I'm going to start with these pieces, and I'm going to get myself just a basic foundation, and I'll be right back. Welcome back, and we're getting some beautiful details installed here. We're just kind of getting some of these things attached to our mineshaft tower system. So I think that's looking really cool. And these little mechanical wheels really add a lot of energy to the build, which is very nice. And so we got our little doors, the windows, little smokestack there. Still would like to add a little something extra to here, maybe even some additional mechanical gears. This doesn't have to be super detailed because, like I said before, this is something you're just going to slowly pass by, but it just gives you something for your eye to catch as you go around the corner. Now we have all sorts of other cool little details, and these things excite me. I don't know what this is going to be for, but I'm sure we could come up with something. All right, so I think that's looking fairly decent. Now, we're going to definitely add more detail all around here, but I just want to get like a really base structure established right there. Potentially, I just had a crazy idea. What if there's a bandit shootout up here? Oh, bandit shootout sounds amazing. I don't know. We'll think about that. We'll totally think about that. Let's close that off for 1 second here. And so we've got that kind of built up there. But the problem is, like I said before, little details like this just get, buried in the mass that this canyon is. So I think some more maybe abandoned areas along these cliffs. And I'm thinking about maybe over here. Let's see, where's a good one? Oh, this would be perfect right here. Potentially this is where an explosion could happen right in this little tunnel. And then the vehicle comes flying out. I think that sounds cool. Let me make some preparations for that because let's get some TNT, some explosions, and some cowboys. Let's make some magic happen. There it is. Did you see that? That was incredible. So this is my design here. So what I'm working on is some triggered effects in this area that go off when the train goes by, and kind of creating these that go along the cliff. Now this is just kind of a temporary test try because of course these things are floating in the air and that's not looking good. So we'll definitely adjust with that. But what I'm thinking about is these little walkways built around the edge so that, work peoples are out and about getting their mining going, and maybe some bandits have taken over the cave in search of that precious gold. And maybe somebody had like ignited the TNT or something. I think that'd be really cool. So getting these things all set up, I think look good. Now, like I said, this is just kind of a test where some of the pieces are missing along the edges. So if we build up the train, now tell me if I'm wrong here, but when I first started playing this game, if you were to take the terrain tool and build it under a piece, it just kind of took over the piece. Now it kind of builds around it. See what I mean by that? It doesn't just kind of morph into one another. It just kind of builds around it, which is super disappointing because I'm pretty sure when we first started with the terrain tool, it did that. See, if I just pulled this up, it would start building up the terrain all around the edges and eventually even circum the entire structure. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's working. Again, so I don't know. Maybe there's like a thing here, like a surface lock. I don't know. What if we just toggle that? See what happens. Come on. Oh, that's it. We just did science, guys. Together we did science, and it was amazing, and I really enjoyed it. Did you enjoy the science time with Scar? That could have blown up pretty bad, but we actually got something that worked out pretty cool. Welcome back, and look at our mining platform set up and ready to roll. We've got cowboys and explosions. This is so cool. It adds so much life and energy to the build. And I love kind of, adding some extra little color shirts to these guys. So this guy's got a brown shirt and I love his red bandana. So kind of a darker outfit here, but with a red bandana really makes it look like a bandit. I love it. I want that red bandana. That's really cool. This guy's got a little bit awkward green. I want to tone that way down, make it a little bit darker. I think it fits in with kind of the earth tones of the area. So we have our platform and our ladders and our TNT and our triggered effects along here. So I think that looks really cool. So taking this idea, we're going to start expanding that around some other areas. So anywhere there's like a little cave, we might be able to build something unique in those areas. Maybe right along this part, because that's somewhere where the vehicle slows down and people might be looking around for things to kind of occupy their mind as they go up. Maybe we'll build a crane or something along those lines in that area. So let's move upwards here. And right in this little section, I am so bad with the camera today. Hashtag Scar is a poor cameraman. Okay, so this part is looking pretty nice. So we've got our little mechanical gears rolling at the top. So just some little details, pickaxes and ropes and lights and fires and barrels and even a few cactuses. I think that looks really nice. So still trying to come up with something to go downwards here to make it look like it's pulling some cables up and down. So we need to work on that for sure. And overall, we're starting to get little pieces here and there. This actually accounts for a massive portion of our park. So getting this all done will take time for sure, but the little details here and there are definitely coming to... Wow. Good job, Scar. Somehow you just got launched into the atmosphere. Something's odd today, guys. Hashtag Scar's a poor camera. Man, I don't know what's going on. So something I want to do before we open today is to add trees along this section up here. I think it'll really tie in our water area to this, and I think that'd look really cool. But eventually, all of these guests are going to be riding this roller coaster very soon. Is that not the most beautiful view in Planet Coaster? That is absolutely breathtaking. I bet a little bit like, oh, there's just no way of really like making it really get transformed in a way that's meaningful, like we talked about. But taking a look back, thinking about where we started from this entire project in this area, a flat place. We dug out this entire canyon. We added the roller coaster, the track, the water, the trees, the plants. It's incredible. Like, I think maybe when you're really like into something and you spend hours and hours and hours, like little bits of progress feels like you've made nothing. But when you look back at the beginning till now, it's like, whoa. I got pretty blown away, and with your guys' help, we have really created something absolutely spectacular here, and we're going to continue to work on it. We're going to continue to add more detail and all sorts of beautiful things up on the cliffs, but I think this looks absolutely stunning, and I think the trees are what really set it off, really brought everything together. Wild West Land is really quite something now. Look at this. We have one little section back here and maybe an extra ride there. But other than that, like, we have an amazing assortment of things for our guests to do and enjoy in this area. Absolutely loving every bit of this. Of course, we've got our little mine shaft over here, and I can't wait to add more of those scattered about. And I think we can take a lot of the details that we have established today and take them throughout this entire canyon. So I think that's really cool. But it is time now to open the attraction. Let's hit play here. Let's zoom down, and the game is getting a little laggy. I will point out, we do have a lot of trees and a lot of pieces here, so the game is getting a bit laggy. But are you guys ready? Can we get some hype in the chat? Because we're gonna hit it now. That's right, we are open and ready for business. We've got the confetti. I didn't know there was confetti. I actually got pretty excited there because I did not know that was confetti launch right there. That's amazing. Peter Pan is joining the queue. I love it. Who is the actual first guest on the roller coaster? We gotta zoom in and see this. Oh man, it is a neck and neck battle, but I think it's the little fella. It's the little fella. Hello there, little fella. Can I like mark you as like the first rider of this attraction? I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't get him. There he is. Hello there, little fella. You're the first. Can I rename you like roller coaster guy or something? Ooh, you have $67, which is red. Is that not a lot? I don't know. Maybe we should give him extra money because he's the first on the attraction. Anyway, that is incredible. Have fun, little buddy. This is amazing. I can't be any more happy seeing guests, entering the queue. And I saw somebody jump up and fist bump. I did. I saw it. It was cool. This is really cool. Let's speed it up a little bit and see if we can really get a massive line. Scar, you didn't speed it up. There, I did that time. We have a problem. We've got a full queue again. As you can see, there's a massive rush on our attraction. Even our priority queue is full. Look at this. All the little people's ready to rock on this brand new roller coaster. I'm just blown away that the priority queue has sold out. That is really surprising. But let's kind of zoom in here a little bit. And I just always love seeing people in the queue. That just makes me so happy to see. And all of our beautiful detail. And is there actual roller coasters going with people on them? Because I haven't seen anybody on it yet because I've been just watching the queue fill up with super speed mode on. So we have our work cut out for us, my friends. We need to somehow increase the ridership of this attraction by maybe adding more vehicles, adding more queue space. So in the next episode, give me some tips on increasing the ridership of our attraction here. And we got to do something about this. This thing is full. I don't know if it's taking the burden off of this at all. Maybe just a little bit. But yeah, look at this, guys. Like, I'm just blown away by how much progress together we've made on this. We have our beautiful log rides and all of these wonderful things throughout the area, which I'm absolutely blown away by. And this makes me so happy. And it also makes me pretty darn happy that you guys like watching this and enjoying it. And Guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.